Hey, friends, welcome back to Reason to Reality Podcast. My name is Joe Smith. I am your host. Today, we are going to try again for a roundtable. However, we've had a couple of glitches and some snafus just because life is life. And I'm sitting here with my friend, Cate Russell. You already know Cate. She is maybe the first returning guest.
Yay!
Yeah, I think so. And then we've got a couple other people that we're expecting to jump on, but we're not like holding our breath because we've been holding our breath, right? Like you and I have been sitting here talking for like 20 minutes.
Yes.
So to those people that are supposed to be here, please, that's not a slam.
It's not a slam.
It's not a slam.
We're patiently waiting.
Yes. I had asked this group of people to come on with their varying points of view because we wanted to talk about some of the stuff that's happening. And the idea that I had in my head when thinking through this is when the things are happening so fast and it's such a breakneck speed. You and I were talking early, just a second ago, and I pulled up. I got my feed here on Ground News. They don't pay me to say this, but I have my subscription to Ground News, right? And I'm going through this stuff, and we mentioned things that we wanted to talk about, and I said
everything.
Yeah, well, and then I said, but the attempted quote unquote assassination or the shooting at the White House Correspondents Center, which happened just a little over a week ago, and that already feels like such old news. And how is that even possible?
Because so many things are happening in such a short amount of time. Like that was last Saturday. And it literally seems like a lifetime ago. There was the Rape Academy was what we talked about last time. That was 2 weeks ago. And that literally feels like so long ago. And I post something every day. At least once a day I post something, and it's just like, it's because it's just so much.
That was only 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane. So I wanted to bring on a group of people to talk about this because I think it's, it's overwhelming, right? And our nervous systems are not meant to respond to all the things like this, and of course it's all by design. But I feel like if we could sit down and have a conversation about some of these things, that it can bring just a little bit of clarity for us, but for anybody listening, anybody watching this, because it is long form. And so we can talk and we can hold nuance, and can kind of sit in the gray a little bit rather than having to respond immediately. Yeah. So I think that, Kate, you, among the others that may or may not be here, are a trusted voice. Yeah, I think so, right?
Try to be.
Yeah, you bring that trust amongst people, amongst the people in our little world of deconstruction and all the things and reconstructing. So I guess my first question, like with all of this stuff, like we just touched on it, this doesn't have anything to do with anything that's actually happening. This is just something that's on my mind lately. How are you navigating what the algorithm forces from us? You know what I mean? Like, the algorithm does not give space for nuance at all. It rewards instant. It rewards like brash, bold statements. So how do you? The only reason this is on my mind is because I'm going back to school. I'm taking a class on adaptive leadership, and we had to like pinpoint. We had to find an adaptive problem, and then like now we've just diagnosed it. So mine is like any kind of ministry, especially when it comes to queer inclusion in digital spaces, and how the algorithm works against actual inclusion. like the medium itself can't hold that for people because there's no room. So that's been on my mind lately. And it's like, and one of the conclusions I came to is that even while we are informing the algorithm, right, because it reads us, it's doing the same to us. The algorithm is forming us as well. And so I'm curious how other people that are in this space that are doing the kind of work that we get to do, how are you aware of that? And if so, like, how are you navigating that?
The algorithm sucks. Algorithm just sucks. And it favors, like you were saying, like brashness and like bad news. So like if I post something that's like good news or like happy, I get like no views on it because
Dang.
no one cares about it. It's like why don't you care about the good news? And so in the videos where I'm like angrier, do the best. And it's like, I don't want to be seen as some like angry woman, you know, even though I am 90% of the time or more. But it's like, that's not how I want to present myself, but that's how my voice gets out there. And I don't like it. And the way that like, at least my channel has been suppressed lately, because like there's no way that I have 60,000 followers and have 4 collaborators on a reel and a post has been up for several hours and it doesn't even have 1,000 views. Like that's just not
Realistic.
realistic. Like so like the algorithm is suppressing you. That
Do you feel the temptation though, like when these stories come up, knowing that what you just said is a thing? Do you feel the temptation to lean into the things that you know are going to like
yeah,
boost,
I do.
yeah, that constant tension of
I
like,
like I don't. But I sit with it because usually when news comes out, like I'll report on something big like a day later because like I just need to
I
sit
said
on
it,
it and
yeah,
I need to figure out how I need to explain it and I don't report on everything because if I feel like someone else has said something better than I can, then like I don't do that because you said it so much better and I'm just going to repost you and boost you. So only if I feel like I have something to add to the news do I report on it. And so usually like I'll wait a day and I'll come out a day later. And it really it's hard because I do just wanna, like, jump on it and, just throw out some text over me doing something mundane and it go viral, but, like, I'm not in this for the views, that's not how it started, like, I'm in it to elaborate on things and to let people understand, and now I've kinda, like, put myself into a corner because that's what people expect from me, so when I do anything other than that, it doesn't go far, but it's like it's really hard because it's like, I need to get out of this algorithm jail, but I
mm,
don't know how to do that in a way that, like, is staying true to who I am as a creator, and so it makes it really hard.
yes, yes, it does. Especially, and I feel this, and I think people listening will feel this as well. Um, I could stay mad 24/7.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I said in the last time, I'm like the Hulk, like, I'm just always angry,
Yes,
and so it's
yes,
just how to let it out.
yes. And my personality is such that if I'm not careful, I'm a hammer and everything is a nail. And I
Yeah.
have lived through that, and it's not fun for anybody. And so I feel like there's so much happening. If we can, if we can bring just a little bit of clarity or help somebody see something slightly different than they would have otherwise,
Mhm.
um, and yet so much of the whole system, the medium itself, boy, doesn't really appreciate that because
No.
that's not what it feeds on.
Yeah. And, like, it feeds on, like, you have to be engaged, like, you need to respond in your comments, but if you have, like, a video where you have, like, just all nasty comments, it's like, I'm not gonna respond to those, like, I'm just gonna restrict you and delete your comment. And so but, like,
There's-
when you delete comments, that hurts you.
yeah.
And it's
My
like
response is usually I have a couple. One of mine that I've been going to lately, because you mentioned it ahead of time, was like on
yeah.
threads. Another thing that's happening is like just blaming Biden. Like, I forgot to water my plants; they're dead. Thanks, Biden.
Thanks, Biden.
So my response, and it's sometimes it's the kindest response I can come up with. It's just I
Uh,
ask them, reality is hard for you sometimes, huh? That's it. Or my other go-to, depending on what we're talking about, is like, that's a really weird way to say that you're okay with child rapists.
Yep.
Those are my two go-to responses for trolls and bots.
Yeah.
Because that's what it boils down to. Because think about it. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I saw on Threads while I was eating dinner, someone was like posted about how like they're Republican and so they can't like talk about them being Republican because then they just get hate comments. It's like, are you a Republican who voted for Trump or are you a Republican who didn't vote for Trump? Because you're hurting yourself here. If you know this is what's gonna happen, maybe don't talk about it. I don't know.
You know, I said this to my wife the other day. Every tank of gas is worth at least 2 tanks of gas now here.
Yeah,
Groceries.
we filled up today.
Yeah.
We have a 12-gallon car. Like, we just have a small SUV, $33 for half a tank.
Know it. That's insane. And then like, we've shopped at Aldi's for years because Aldi's is just like a
I
step
love
below
Aldi.
Trader Joe's. Oh, we do too.
Yeah.
But like, they're exclusively getting all of our business right now. And she brought home a thing of apples, and there were only 4 in there. And I said, yeah, because that's what they're doing now. Instead of like charging more, they're just giving you less for the same price, so it doesn't feel, but you're still overpaying. And I looked at it and I said, the only reason we're here, other than just because people didn't want to vote for the woman, right? Um, the only reason we are where we are, the only reason we're paying this much in our gas and our groceries are this high and our utilities are this high and the economy's crapping out and all this stuff is because Republicans refuse to hold pedophiles accountable. That's it. That's the bar.
Yeah.
That's the bar.
Just hold your own accountable. It's the bare minimum.
Literally.
It's the bare minimum. It's like you could like love him all day long, but if he does something wrong, I love my kids all day long, but if my 5-year-old stomps his foot at me, he's gonna have a consequence. Like,
You are tired of the foot stomping.
I am tired of the foot stomping. Sorry, I know we were talking about that earlier, but like if someone that you support does something wrong, you don't just give them your blind allegiance. Like you hold them accountable. Otherwise, it's just going to keep getting worse. They're just going to continue to walk all over you. And then people will be like, well, you like let Biden be president for so long. It's like, he didn't run again, and I didn't want Biden to be president for so long. Like, what do you mean?
I think that, and of course, it's not this binary, but for the sake of our conversation, I think a lot of people on the left were just kind of like, dude, you're too old. Sit
Too
down.
old.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're too old. Like, no, you're not running again. You said you weren't going to run again. So like, you need to go sit down. I think we were all pretty vocal about that.
Yeah. And there's a reason that he dropped out because he got so much pushback. But
Yes.
but Trump's never going to get that.
No, he's never going to get that. Well, let me ask you a question. Since it kind of looks like that Jenna's not going to make it, and neither is Nick. One of these days, we're going to actually have this.
We're going to have it.
It's going to happen. Everybody said yes, and then, but that's life. Life is insane.
It's okay.
It is okay. But I do want to ask you this. This is going to come out of left field a little bit.
Okay.
So last time we were talking about kind of, the Rape Academy and all that stuff. And, then in the last week, we have had the gutting of the Voting Rights Act. And then, was it today or like, it must have been like yesterday or the day before about the federal court, striking down the ability to mail mifepristone.
I think that was Friday.
Was it Friday? Okay.
Friday.
And there's this ongoing conversation about patriarchy and complementarianism, which is the theology that supports patriarchy. All the things surrounding that. And again, knowing that the algorithms only reward just the most lunatic takes, right?
Yeah.
So you have these you have these accounts that are popping up. Like they're all over my threads now, and they're super. I don't know how I got on this side, but anytime I post anything, they show up, and then all of a sudden I see all this stuff about like, I saw a video the other day where this guy was talking about how it's not controlling for you to listen to my needs. And if I don't think that you should be friends with that person, or if I don't think that you should follow that person, it's for your own good, and it's some red pill, 20 something year old with the ice cream haircut, you know what I mean? Um, and I'm curious because I don't know. I don't know. I can imagine, but as a woman in the United States, these are not just like headlines. Yeah, I can only feel them because I feel them, through empathy, right? I'm putting
Mhm.
myself in my wife's shoes. I'm putting myself in my daughter's shoes. I'm putting myself in my friend's shoes. It's still not the same. What do you wish men knew when it comes to this kind of stuff? Like how it lands on you or how it makes you feel? What would you wish men knew?
That's a that's a question. That's a question. I don't know if my husband, I mean, this is not my husband, but if
Yeah.
he came to me and said, like, "This is for your own good," it's like, who do you think you're talking to, for starters? I'm not a child. I am a grown woman. I am in my 30s. I have birthed children. I have a mortgage. Like, who do you think you're talking to? And I feel like, and I've never been in an abusive relationship, so I can't speak to how women who have been in those kind of relationships function. Um, and I know, like, I can say, like, oh, I wouldn't take that from a man, but like, I've never been in that position, so I can't say what I would or wouldn't do if you know what I mean. Um, but just like, women are human beings, right? Like,
And last I
do
checked,
you the last I checked, like, we are conscious, like, we are human beings, and so for a man to think that he can just talk to, like, another human being like that just is mind-boggling to me. Because like, I would never go and be like, "Joe, it's for your best interest, don't talk to this person." Like, you think I'm crazy. And so for some, like, a 20-year-old man, boy, not a man, boy, to, like, say that to women is just crazy. It's like, who do you think you are? And why do you think you have this much authority to speak to all women like this? And what makes you think that any woman would wanna be near you?
isn't that crazy? I think you hit it on the head there too. Like, I want to stay here for just a minute, but you said it. What makes you think you have the authority? And I don't know. I can't remember if we talked about this last time. I don't think that we did. But one of the things that I recognized in myself a handful of years ago. No, I'm a nice guy. I'm an extrovert. I love being around people. I'm as friendly as the day is long. Um, I just I'm not a confrontational person. I don't shy away from confrontation, but I'm not a
Mm.
confrontational person. And so like almost any situation you put me in, I'll find somebody to talk to and hang out with. Like that's just who I am. And
Mhm.
so like I'm not really uncomfortable. And I mean, unless there's a threat of like actual physical harm, I'm just not. You could drop me in anywhere and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Um, and it really struck me when I served on the board of our local Pride Center.
Mhm.
When I first started, I was the only straight person in the room, and it never bothered me. Like it never even crossed my mind, honestly, until somebody would
Mhm.
point it out. And then there was a whole joke how I was like the token straight on the board and all this stuff. And, it was a
Token
big
straight
joke.
man.
Yeah. And I wore it proudly. I absolutely loved it. But during the work that we all have to do to like unindoctrinate ourselves, if that's even the right word. But what I recognized is it wasn't because I was such a nice guy that I was comfortable in these spaces. Um, it was because when I walked into a room, I just inherently saw the room as mine
Mm-hmm.
because that's how I was raised. That's how, and I'm not even talking about my parents. Like they didn't never said that to me, but just
Mm-hmm.
the world that we live in. Like it's just the air we breathe and the water we swim in. And any room as a straight white male, Christian male in the United States, any room that I walked into is automatically my room. So why would I be comfortable in my room?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that far too many people, not only is that true for them, but I think they operate in that either unaware or they are very aware of it and abuse it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say, like, where do you get the authority? That's literally what popped into my mind. Is like,
Yeah.
in my head, it's looking back, right? Looking back, of course the authority is mine.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? Why is that even a
Are we
question?
gonna have a problem, Joe?
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like going
Yeah.
back, thinking back, that's like how I think many of these guys operate. That just, yeah, of course I have authority. I'm a man.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess being a woman, I just don't get that. Like, I was never like, the room is mine. It's just, I'm in this room. And so I'm going to figure
Exists.
it out and exist. Figure that out. Uh, I mean, even like, I don't know if this relates. It's relating in my head, but I don't know if it'll come out making sense. But like, my kid, like, he's almost 5. And we didn't cut his hair until he was old enough to ask for it to be cut. So he had like hair down to his shoulders and it was cute little ringlets. He asked for it cut and we went and got it cut about a year ago. I think it was like last March he got it cut. He was almost 4. And he's had it short this whole year. And maybe back in February, he said that he wanted to grow his hair out again long.
Yeah, he does. That's awesome.
And so like
Well,
we've been
people I can't see.
and so like we've been growing his hair out for the last couple of months and it looks rough.
In
'Cause
between phase.
it
Yeah.
was like shorter on the sides and then longer at the top. And so the way that it has been growing out, it like kind of looks like he's just wearing like a really bad wig. But it's like, okay, you said you wanted it like long, like we're not gonna cut it. We're gonna grow it back out. And I would get pushback from like my family being like, his hair looks awful, like you need to get it cut. And it's like, it doesn't look the best, you're right, but he doesn't want it cut. And like they said to me, like, well, you're the parent. It's like, I am, but like he has bodily autonomy. Like yes, he's 4, but he still like is in control of his own body. Like I'm not just gonna go cut his hair if he doesn't want to cut, you know? Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like I'd be so mad if I was a little kid and they just went and cut my hair. Like that's my hair. And so actually last weekend he said that he wanted it cut again because it's getting summer, he's getting hot. And he's like, so I want it short for the summer and then we'll grow it out again after. And like we waited a week to make sure that was what he really wanted. And I got pushed back from my family. Like he said he wanted it short. Why aren't you cutting it? It's like, because I want to make sure this is what he wants. Like he's 4. Like, yes, we will go get it cut. But like his
Do you
hair and
want
his
me to cut
body
it?
is
You
his
just had to do it.
authority. Right. Because dad went and got a haircut. And so like, do you want to get a haircut because dad got one or because you really want one? And so we went and got his haircut yesterday. It's like, you are in charge of your own body. You have authority over that. Like, yes, I'm your parent and I'm here to guide you, but like, I'm not going to cut your hair just because like it looks bad, you know? I don't know. It made sense in my head. I don't know if it made sense as I'm like speaking it out about
No.
authority, but it's like even as like a parent and my child, like, and you're like a man, like just because you're a man over a woman, like it just doesn't make sense to me.
No. I think it makes perfect sense because, well, I'm not dictate or not going over what you said.
Yeah.
What you said, the story you told makes perfect sense to me from the perspective of authority, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I think the authority that has been given, quote unquote, to men in the United States is like very authoritative versus what you just said is a more like it's a collaborative approach. There is a video, and if I can, I wanted to find it and I didn't have time to find it before we start talking. There is a video of a woman sitting down and it's these far right nut jobs that have their own little podcast or whatever. And she was talking about um how she wasn't blaming everything on women, but what she did blame on women was woke, the woke mind virus, right?
That was my reel today.
Yes. And she talked about the reason she talked about this, and she talked in really broad strokes. But the reason that she talked about this, and I'll see if I can't find that video again, and I'm pretty sure I saved it, but I'll link it in the show notes so people can go find it and watch what I'm talking about. But she was talking about how women showed up with the way that they make decisions into a work system that didn't have space for how they process things. Where men are and these are her words, so this is not me saying this, but men are very like fact driven and like we want to ... and like just give me the information. We're going to make decisions based on that. Where she said that women are more collaborative and more relationally based, and want to know the facts, and women want to know the relationships. And my thought process in that, and she was clearly degrading one over the other, right? Like one way is better than the other. But my thought process while I was listening to that was, it is a emotionally stunted or uninformed person that thinks that they make decisions without emotion. And that if you truly do make decisions without any emotion attached, you're a psychopath. Like legit.
100%.
And not even like just me name dropping. Like, no, legit, you're a psychopath. If you can make decisions not caring how that impacts humans,
Mm-hmm.
you're a freaking psychopath.
Yeah. And people do that all the time.
Which is insane to me. So again, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to that question. As a woman, growing up in the spaces that you grew up, what the hell?
I don't know. Now you have me like thinking back, like in my childhood, like family dinners, like all the women would be like in the kitchen cleaning up and all the men would be sitting on the couch watching the game. It's like, so the women cook and the women clean and you just sit there both times. It's like, even like that was just normal to me growing up, but that was very clearly like, that's patriarchy, like at its finest. And it was just normal to me. And like in my house now with my husband, like I cook and he does the dishes. Like I'm not doing
sure.
both.
Absolutely. Same. I run the vacuum every night. She hates it.
Ooh,
yeah, she
I
hates
hate the vacuum.
and listen, we have to run the sweeper every night down here in Florida because everything is just like, and there's no carpet. So, I mean, it's just, nobody has carpet down here and you have to because it's just sand and dust and junk everywhere. So anyway, yeah.
But it's like, even that, like that's just normal. And like so many households and they don't think anything of it. It's like, I want one of those women to just go and like sit down and not help. Because I'm not there anymore, so.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so we're kind of circling this stuff about like patriarchy and all these things and like the fact that, like me recognizing growing up that all these rooms are my rooms and that's just how I operated. And even let me be really honest, Kate. I'll be super honest. It is a default.
Yeah.
It is a default for me. I think the only reason it works is because I know it's there and I'm not a jackass most of the time.
I mean, I feel like you could go into a room and like, this is mine and not be a jerk about it. Like you're inclusive, you're talking to people, you're figuring it out, but you're also like, to me, that's just like confidence, not so much like this is my room. I'm just confident in my position to be here.
Yes, but how much of that, and let's go back and forth because I
Right.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I love what you just said. But how much of that is because I'm a man versus
A
you being a
lot.
woman?
A lot. But there
Yeah.
are like women who are like like
Oh, there are
I'm very
too.
much an introvert, and so I'm just that's also part of it. Like I'm a woman and I'm an introvert, so I'm just like be like this corner over here, this looks comfortable to me. But like there are women who are very like confident and like, but they're like she's bossy, like women have a different.
Yes. But
She's assertive. It's like she can't just be confident,
yeah. Yeah. Because I think if you showed up in spaces that I'm in the way I show up in those spaces, you're getting called a bitch.
right? Yeah, women are called a bitch and men are just called men.
Confident.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And, like, that's just not me, like, so I can't
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to, like, speak on it, but it's like, yeah, like, women are bitches, and they're bitchy, and men aren't. That's just how men are. It's okay.
Okay. So you just talked about the fact that you if you cook, your husband does the dishes, right? You
Mhm,
guys split the stuff, and obviously depending on the season, like I think everybody's completely aware of how seasons of life change, what's done and what's not done, and how you divvy up the stuff that happens in a household, right? Like you guys have two little ones, so
mhm,
that's a crazy season of life where some things get put on the back burner and other things have to come forward. Well, they're going to get a little bit older soon, and so that's all going to change again.
mhm.
So you guys operate clearly within a more egalitarian way of living, right? Where it's very much a partnership and stuff.
Yes.
But you guys didn't come from that world.
No.
So I'm curious. And again, I told you this before we started recording. You could tell me to jump off a cliff anytime you want to. Um, but I'm wondering when when you and your husband started dating or living together or getting married or whatever your situation was there a conscious decision or were you guys did you just fall into that like no we're gonna be partners here? Was that like a conversation?
I don't think it was ever really, like, a conversation because we started dating abroad, in China, and so, like, different culture, different language, and so it was really just, like, we were already in a partnership trying to navigate this foreign country. And so that kind of just, like, naturally fell into our home as well. Like, I've always been, like, the cook. I think he's probably only ever made me, like, 1 meal, and we've been together 10 years. Like, that's just always like, that's just me. But he has always done the dishes, and that was just always how it was, and he always viewed that as, "Well, you cooked, of course I'm gonna do the dishes." And I mean, there'll be some nights where I do them, but that's because he's with the kids. And it's like, I don't wanna deal with them, so you have them, so I wanna do this. But it's not just like he's gonna go sit on the couch and I'm not gonna do anything. But there are nights where he's doing something and I'm sitting on the couch because I also have the kids all day. Like, I stay-at-home mom, and I've started working this past week part-time, and so, like so I stay-at-home mom, and I'm working part-time, and, like, you have your nice cushy office job we've been joking about, like, from The Office, like, the have you seen the Office episode where they, like, get so depressed? Yes, that, so that we've been
Yes.
joking about that this past week. It's like, "You have your nice cushy office job,"
You got a
and
nerve job. Nerve.
yes.
You got cushy
Um,
butt syndrome or what was it? Cushy butt disease or something?
something like that,
Yeah, yeah.
and so it's like, so I'm gonna sit here and disassociate for 20 minutes and play my game, but, like, I feel like for us, it just always, like, fell into that, like, just he would always do the laundry and I would put them away. I would cook, he would do the dishes. He would like sweep, I would mop. Like it's always been like we a lot of these chores we like half and it's just how it fell. And then we moved back. We moved into an RV and we like traveled full time on RV. Yes, we did do that. It's for
Really?
sale. If anyone listening wants an RV, come buy it from me. But we did that. And so like his job, like my job was the inside of the RV and his job was the outside. And so, and then now that we're in a house, like everything is just split kind of how we figure it out. But I feel like that's always been like natural for us. It's never been like, well, you're the man, so you do this.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for boy jobs, like he kills the bugs and takes out the trash. But like it's always just kind of been like we're a partnership. Like you don't have authority over me because you're a man. Not that I would let him, but for us, it's just fallen like that.
Yeah. I'm curious too, because it's so funny to me that you said you're an introvert, because you definitely don't come across that way.
I am, what is it? I'm an Enneagram 3, if you know anything about the
I
Enneagram.
do. Yeah.
So I know how to, like, blend in well.
Yes.
But no, I'm very much an introvert.
Hey, I morphed from a 3 to an 8 over the last several years.
Yeah.
I think there are seasons of life where, you kind of lean into one side of, because nobody's one thing completely.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm very much an 8 over the last several years. But
Hmm.
I'm well aware of the 3. Yes.
Yeah.
And there are so many pitfalls too.
Yes.
Just so much.
Yes.
That's exhausting.
Yes, it is.
I still fall into that. Yeah. I still fall into that.
So good at
Well,
blending and morphing.
very much so. Very much so. I think one of the things, and not to side rail what we're talking about, but I think one of the things that, like, the being more out there with some of the stuff that we talk about, or what I talk about, I think my 8 is a response to that. My 8 is a response to when we came, I hate to say it, I hate to use the phrase came out, but when we made the church that I was at the time that was leading, and when we moved from just a stereotypical evangelical church to then being open and affirming, that process, and then the response that we got outwardly, towards us, I think my 8 is in response to that. I think my 8's a defense mechanism to all of the vitriol and everything. It was always there because I come from a long line of butt heads and challengers and stuff. My dad is like the king of them.
King Butthead.
He is, and I'm not telling you anything I haven't said to him too. So he's literally one of my best friends. So I think it's my 8's in a response to having to grow a thick skin very quickly, a thicker skin than I had. But yeah, so I feel your 3. I feel
Thank you. I feel seen.
yes. But I want to go back to the whole, like, patriarchy stuff, especially, like, we're looking at over the last week. I'm literally looking at my ground news right now, where going after Pope Leo again. But what I really wanted to bring up, especially with you all, and I'm so bummed that they couldn't make it, because I really wanted to hear what they had to say too. But, like, we're talking about the gutting of the Voting Rights Act, right? And how that impacts so many people. Then you've got, just on Friday, you've got the Mifeprestone decision, and how that affects everybody. But disproportionately affects, right, people of color and marginalized groups and women, all of these things. And so I'm just I'm curious. I really wanted to ask you guys, just how are you feeling with all of this stuff?
The empathy is at an all-time high. Especially, I mean, for both, because it's easy for me to sit here and be like, well, I'm white. Like, it doesn't affect me as much as it affects you. Like, that's easy. But, like, my mind immediately goes to, like, treat others the way you want to be treated. And it's like, that was not how I want to be treated. And I know that if it's happening to this group of people, it's also going to happen to me. Like, I'm not immune to that. It's just going to get to me later. So my empathy is really high, and I am livid, and I'm exhausted, and I'm tired, and all of the negative emotions. Because, like, with the Voting Rights Act, like, people just don't know the history. It's like that. People died for that. Like, people were beaten for that. And of course, there are people of color. Like, it took decades to get it where it was, and a lot of violence, and Congress already ruled on this, and with a stroke of a pen, SCOTUS now just, like, undid 44 years of history, because now you have to prove that someone, like, wanted to cause you harm. So you can't prove that. You can't prove that. That's why Congress already did what they did in 82. And it's wild. And that they canceled an election that people have already voted in.
Yeah.
Like,
Louisiana,
that's
for those that don't know,
terrifying.
the
Yeah.
governor suspended
The House election.
Yeah.
Which just suspend an election that people have already voted in is terrifying. And people don't realize that because they see the Voting Rights Act as being racist. And it's like, no, this is the remedy to racism.
New racism.
And now we're back to being racist. Like, it's insane that people just don't know the history. Like, and actually, no, it's not all that insane because it's intentional. Like, our education system is the way that it is purposefully. But it's insane to me that people won't go and learn the real thing for themselves. Because we have access to more information and more knowledge than we ever have, and people are dumber than ever. It's like you literally have a supercomputer that mine's sitting right here and it keeps buzzing. Like, you have access to all this information, and why are you still so dumb?
Why are you so dumb? That's a great question.
Why are you so dumb?
Why are you? Maybe that's going to be my response from now on. Why are you so dumb?
I've started calling people twats, and then I delete it because it's not nice. But it's just, I don't get it. Of course, if like the majority of people in this district are Black, of course they should have Black representation. Like, you're gonna let a white person like have authority over them? Of course. If this community is more brown, you're gonna want to have a brown representative.
Here's my thought on this. Here's why I still find hope. I live in Florida, and Florida Republicans on a state, of course, they said these things all get leaked. You know what I mean? Like, they never come out and say it on their own.
And you guys just got really gerrymandered too.
Again. State Republicans, many of them were not in favor of this because they are seeing what's happening in Texas. And now what's happened is that these once 20 plus red counties are now watered down to +5. And with Trump at historic lows, that's a winnable seat now. Those are winnable seats. Seats that were strongholds in the old map are now not because they're watered down. So my hope is that because they are so watered down, that
flip.
Yes. And that these ones like really strong because they were gerrymandered that way just got it's not the same electorate as it was a handful of years ago, much less 10 years ago. So my hope is that, like, especially for Florida, that we flip the state, and that Texas, they flip the state. And then once we get into power, let me ask you this. I am an optimist. I'm a glass half full guy.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay, so I am not really worried about the Democrats taking the House and the Senate in the midterms. Here's my biggest worry. Tell me what you think about this. Here's my biggest worry. My biggest worry is that we do take back the House and the Senate. We have a majority where we can actually stop some of the harm that's happening, reverse it, right? But then the Democrats up top don't.
Yeah,
that's
corporate
my biggest.
Dems are a problem.
That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, corporate Dems are a problem. Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. I mean, we saw what happened in California. They put it to a vote. The vote passed. We saw what happened in Virginia, who is one of the most like 50-50 states in the States. It passed. Like, you have to have Texas, who does it without constituents' feedback. Louisiana without feedback. Florida without feedback. Like, these red states know that if they put it to a vote, that it's not going to pass. And so I am optimistic that, like, I'm not worried about it. Like, it's stupid and it shouldn't be allowed, and like gerrymandering like needs to be banned. But what's also about
trying to do.
Yes.
And the Republicans
And so,
voted no.
right. But like with California and Virginia, like those maps aren't there indefinitely. They're just there till like 2030 or something until the next census. Like they didn't even keep it that way forever because they know that that's not the way that you
This is
should
a
do it.
temporary stopgap.
It's
Yes.
temporary stopgap. Like we need it. And I think James Tallarico put out a thing like if he gets elected, then the first thing that he'll do is like issue a bill to like ban gerrymandering or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yes. Ban gerrymandering. Like I'm in Kansas. Kansas is so gerrymandered. Like we have a Democratic governor, but all of our representatives are Republican.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. There are 4 districts, the whole 4 districts. And I'm in District 1. It is like 75% of the state is District 1. And a lot of it is farm, like I'm in rural Kansas.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on. 75% of the state is one district. And then you have like your little districts broken up, like in your bigger cities, like Kansas City and Wichita, that are just like cut in half. It's like, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. And so, no, I'm not worried about it. I'm not even optimistic. It's just like, they're shooting themselves in the foot, in my opinion. But yes, corporate Dems are a problem. And we need to stop electing old people and we need to start putting in progressives.
And you know what's crazy about that? I totally agree. But
like, unless you're Bernie Sanders, I don't want you.
You know what? And he's not crazy.
No.
He's not
He
crazy.
just stands for business.
But I mean, even like you know what I mean? Like when we talk about these policies and stuff and we label these things progressive. And I, you know, when we're talking about it, I know what we're talking about, but
yeah.
it's not crazy. None of the stuff that he wants to happen is not crazy. It's not communist.
No, I am so excited about Mamdani because everyone, like, we get to see it. We get to see it on a small scale that he's doing what he said he would do and how it is benefiting New York City.
Their murder rate has now dropped to like 2.7% or something. I don't remember what it is. It's almost half of what it is in Florida.
Yeah.
And like we're a super red state. We're a super majority red state.
Yeah. So I'm excited that he is there and that the country can see, oh, they elected this communist into office, seeing what this communist does, you know, and how it's benefiting his people and how that's the representation that we need on a national scale. Like someone who will do what they say that they are doing and who is young and who knows the people. Like, I'm a millennial, Gen Z is voting, and then we have Gen Alpha. Like, I don't think anyone older than like young boomer should like be in office. Like, you can't have these 80-year-olds running the country with all, like, the world is so much different.
Yeah, I just saw
what it was. Even when I was growing up compared to now, like, the world is so much different. Like, you need someone who can understand it and not just have like all these advisors and handlers like telling me, like, you need to be able to understand it to do your job.
Yeah, did you see the video that Susan Collins put out to announce that she's running again in Maine? She gets a delivery. Yeah, and she opens up this box and it's a pair of running shoes and she's like, "Oh, this is perfect because I'm running again." Yes.
To see my face, those listening, come back and watch my face.
The reaction, yes, that's gonna be like the little
the picture.
Yes, for the episode. But and the person I was watching talk about it, I cannot think of his name. He's the guy that does all the Trump videos about how he's got frontotemporal dementia and white, and he's got like 6 days to live. And have you seen him? He's like he always says he's 14 years working with geriatric patients. I got a PhD in my field. And then anytime he cusses, this is my favorite part. Whenever he cusses, he changes the subtitles to somebody's name in the administration. So that's what it is. I'm going to send it to you afterwards.
Send it to me. Yes, send it to me.
That's fantastic. But he was talking about how Susan Collins is going to be 73 and she has Parkinson's. And it's like, why are we so electing these? You should go home and retire. Like
retirement age, like that should be mandatory.
Like Mitch McConnell, listen, he's going to go down as one of the worst in history for the things that he's done, right? And also, he's still a freaking human being. And how is it not elder abuse that his people are still pushing him where he can't? I mean, there are multiple times where he just freezes and can't produce a word or thought.
How old is Mitch McConnell?
I don't know. He's got to be 80 or more if he's not.
4.
Yeah.
Oh
See,
look at this picture that popped.
That's awesome. That's perfect. But how is that? How?
I mean, so when I was pregnant with my second, we were living with my husband's grandma. And she's 80. I think she just turned 83. So the same age as Mitch McConnell. And like we were there with Trump, when he got elected, and she was just like, I don't understand how like he's functioning. Like I'm a few years older than he is, and I'm not able to do that. Like being self-aware enough of her own like age and faculties, like I couldn't do that.
Dude.
And I know that everyone ages differently, but you're old. You're old at that point.
Listen, I am going to be 50 later this year. And if you keep me up past my bedtime, I'm cranky. I want my 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And I don't know
it's
how.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. I'm going to be 33 and it's 9 o'clock and I'm ready for bed.
Yes. I'm lights out right around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. But I know myself, and like, or have friends that, have the surprise baby at like, mid 40s or whatever. There's no way I have the energy to keep up. If I had my son, he was a tornado when he was little. He came out talking and like wanting to do stuff immediately. And he was that way for the longest time. And he's almost 17 now. So it chills out or whatever. But if I had to do that in my mid 40s to late 40s, oh, good Lord, much less making decisions that impact the entire world.
Yeah. There needs to be an age gap. You're an age stop.
I can't wrap my head around it. Yeah, listen, I want to honor your time because it is starting to get late, and I know that you got little ones and stuff. We've only been recording for just about an hour, but you and I have been talking for almost 90 minutes now.
Yeah.
And so
I can go a little bit longer.
Yes.
Let's do like 10 more minutes.
For those Jenna, Nick, next time I'm pinning you down and we're gonna have this conversation.
Yes.
I'm pinning you down to do this. But how are you guys navigating everything? Like as a family? Just like keeping sane, because one of the things that and I'm sure everybody's this way, right? Like we said it again at the very beginning that we could stay mad 24/7, right? Do you guys have like phone free times? What are you doing to stay sane? What are you doing to stay grounded? Life still has to go on.
Mm-hmm. It is hard.
Yeah.
And we're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Because like my husband, he works with like software development, but for like researchers. And so that part of the government has been hit really hard the last year. And so he's always working. and knows more about like the intricacies and like back channel stuff. Whereas I'm like more of like the headlines and breaking those down. And so it's a lot. And like he's at work all day, and then like I started working this past week, and honestly working this past week and looking at my screen time is insane, because like before I started working, my screen time was like averaging like 11 and a half hours a day, because I was just constantly on my phone, constantly looking at news, and I was putting out like 2 or 3 reels a day. And this past week I actually had a few people message me like, are you okay? Because like I just haven't been active during the day, because my screen time is down to like 5 hours a day. I'm not on it. And so this past week has been, for me, like relaxing, but then also just like what's going on in the world. Like I don't know what's happening. And that is somehow worse than like not knowing what's happening. And so we are definitely still like trying to navigate it. We've been falling asleep to The Office. So it's been
right
great.
now. I'm rewatching the what do they call them? The fan sized episodes or whatever they are, super sized.
Huh? Yeah.
Where's
We just got rid of Charles Minor. So we're in those later seasons. But like we've been watching The Office, and like we've just been trying to like, the shows that we are watching are like resistance based. Like so like we were watching Andor. And it's like I need to take a break.
Good.
I need to take a break from that.
It's it's so heavy because it's just wait, that's right now.
Yeah, we were watching The Handmaid's Tale, and it's like
I can't.
can't need a break from that. And so it's like, okay, so we're watching Parks and Rec and we're watching The Office, and we're going to disassociate into that for a little bit.
Thank God for Michael Schur.
Yes.
For those that don't know, he's the writer of both of those shows.
Yes. He did such a good job. But like my kids don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so young. My 5-year-old, he knows that Mama goes and like makes videos to fight the bad guys. That's how like we've explained it to him. And like when I've gone to like protests and be like, oh, I'm gonna go fight the bad guys, and he's very into superheroes, so like he thinks I'm actually out there like fighting them. It's like,
man, I love that age so much.
And just like
that's right, Mommy's a superhero.
Yeah, she is. And just like teaching him like your voice is your superpower. Like no one can take your voice away from you. Like, so stop stamping your foot at me. Use your words. But that's kind of like where we're at with that. We did have ICE came to our city a few months ago, and so like we did talk to him about how like the bad guys are called ICE, and like I went and talked to his school, and I was like, what's your plan? Like just sit down and like, I want a meeting with the principal. I need you to tell me your plan for if ICE comes to the school, because there's a lot of second language speakers and a lot of immigrants, and just like,
there's a big Hispanic
and they did. Yeah, they're more than I expected when we moved here. I just didn't expect that. But they did. They sat down with me and they're like, so we are not going to work with them. We don't have to let them in the school. And they had like a binder of like, they had it already all prepared. And I was like, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And so like, he knows like the bad guys are called ICE, and that's about the extent that we've gone with him. But then like he's going into kindergarten, I'm sure they'll start to do active shooter drills, and that terrifies me, but
that's so stupid. Yeah, that's another topic.
I don't even want to say it is what it is. Yeah. Like that's literally what's about to come out of my mouth. That's how normalized it is. But
it shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But that's the extent for him. It's easier because they're younger, and so we don't really have to navigate those conversations. But as this progresses, of course, we'll have to.
Yeah. I think a lot of people feel that way. I think anybody listening to this or watching this probably feels that way. I think we're all struggling to try to figure out what the balance is between staying informed, staying plugged in, knowing what's happening, and then just like completely unplugging and completely not knowing for a minute. Like this weekend, I just, I tried to do the whole thing. This isn't most people. Like what you and I are talking about right now is not most people, but I try to do like one thing a day to post. And Friday came, and it was like, I don't have anything that needs to be said. So I'm just not going to say anything.
Yeah.
because there's nothing I need to say about anything. Because, like you said, there were other people, and so I collabed with them, and it was just like, Lucas, um, what's his last name? Bean? Is that it? Lucas
Hmm.
Bean? Yeah, he's great videos. Collaborated with him on one on Friday, and I was like, listen, whatever he said he's going to say it better than I would say it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the thing. And like this weekend, yesterday, dude, we did squat all day. Nothing.
That's good.
You know what I did? This is my therapy. This is my therapy. I too watch The Office, but this is my therapy. Right
Tell
now,
me.
playing Sniper Elite Resistance.
Yes, you told me about that.
Yes. So I am a French resistance fighter with a sniper gun, and that's why I literally did that. I think I did that for like 5 hours yesterday. Was sit in my
Nice.
chair and just blow up and kill Nazis.
Nazis.
So
Yes.
that's what I did yesterday to completely unplug. Um, I
That's
I don't think
awesome.
that there's a right answer right now. I think it's whatever and whatever you find.
Whatever you find. I've been audiobooks. I've been listening to a lot of Frida McFadden because it's just like airport reads. Doesn't require me to think much of it, and it's kind of like a whodunit. And so it's
Air,
like I
yes,
can do that.
yeah,
And then I go back to like Jesus and John Wayne. It's like nope, back to Frida McFadden we go.
you know what's funny? I have spent the last, I don't know, probably 7, 8 years just deep diving into like theology, and then books like that are kind of like historical but theology based. It's
Mhm.
have them both that. And now I just cannot bring myself to open up another one. I'm at the point now where, and I mean this in the best possible way. I know that if somebody clipped this, because it happened, I was on a podcast, the Be Both podcast, and I got a
Uh-huh.
ton of hate for saying that ultimately doesn't matter to me what Paul said about queer inclusion.
I
Um,
saw that.
or like all these people came out of the woodwork. They were like commenting on the churches, on the church that I work at, their stuff, and it's just like, don't you guys have something better to do? Go listen to the whole podcast. But anyway, so if somebody clipped this, it's going to do the same thing. But whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I just don't care what theology. I just don't care. I just at that point where it's just like, if your theology doesn't hold room for humanity, then I just don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care who said it.
Is,
I don't care who wrote it. Don't
is that
care.
your book title?
Yeah, I just
I don't
don't.
care.
I
Just don't
don't.
care.
I don't care. You can say so and so wrote this, and you can quote this verse at me, and you can say these things. If that doesn't hold room for humanity, then I just
Mhm.
don't care. Then your argument's null and void to me. I don't care if Martin Luther said it. I don't care much what he said anyway. I don't care if Gregory of Nicaea said it, and I care a lot about what he said. But
Mhm.
if it doesn't hold room for humanity, I just don't care. So, like to your point, I can't right now. I just can't pick up. There are books I want to read. Like I got this one. I got this one in the mail. I'm probably going to read this one. I don't know if you can see it. Reality and
Reality
Ruins.
and
Jared,
Ruins.
yeah, Jared Stacy wrote it, and I just got it
Uh-huh.
in the mail the other day. And I will probably read that one. Um, I will read that one. But like, I just can't. I just can't anymore. Like right now, it's The Office. Like that's what I'm listening to, and I'm reading Stephen King. I'm reading Needless Things or Needful Things because I love
Mhm.
Stephen. So I feel that deeply.
Yeah. We
So,
wanted to name our second son, or I wanted to name our second son Gage from Pet Cemetery, Stephen King.
oh, nice.
My husband nixed that, but he acts just
What
like Gage. So I
a
was right.
name. What a great name too. Awesome story. Awesome story.
But sorry,
No,
side
no, no,
rail.
no, 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 no. Kate, listen, I appreciate it. I love. This is the second time we've gotten to do this. I feel like we've gotten to know each other a lot, and been able to do this in a way I think is helpful for people. So I do. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day with those little ones to come on here and
Of course.
just talk about all the things. And there are so many things to talk about. But I just really appreciate you and all that you're doing, and not to like kiss up or anything because you're just on here, but I think that there are, in the world that we live in currently, I love the fact that there are so many really strong female voices out there right now, and you're one of them. And
Thanks.
I just I'm so thankful. Like all I do is I try to picture things through the lens of my daughter, the world that she's growing up in. And so I'm glad that there are people out there like you that she'll see and be like, okay, I hear my dad say stuff like this all the time, you know,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I'm dad. But here's this woman saying the same things, right? And I think that lands, I think it's so much more important. So keep doing it. Don't stop. I think what you're
Thanks.
doing is really important. And I think it needs to be said and said out loud. So thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, go to the show notes. If you're not following Cate already, you're going to after this conversation, and we've got the links in there so you can do that. And we'll link all the other stuff that we're talking about. We get this question all the time. The best way that you can support us, honestly, is to like, subscribe, share, all those things that we all know helps the algorithms and stuff, especially if these conversations, if they're useful to you, if you find them helpful. So I just wanted to say thank you for all those people that are, because you are awesome. And you don't have to, but you do. So you rock. Don't forget, friends, that your voice might be the only voice of reason that somebody hears today, so don't be afraid to use it. Until next time, friends, have a good one.